Good people, how you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Come and join your boy by hitting that like, subscribe, and notification bell. I really appreciate you guys hitting that like button. It helps me to stay alive. You know that song, I'm staying alive, all right? Now you can tell by the way, all right, let's just go. All right, look, the market, it literally tried to fight its way back, never succeeding, all right? It tried to find its way back, never succeeding, and then it just fizzled out towards the end, right? So what was the big news? For me personally, it was Palantir. Earnings, and Palantir. We know what's going on with the tariffs. At this point, nothing, though they're saying that all the major countries that they're negotiating with all have a potential deal, according to the Treasury Secretary, okay? There's potential deals with the exception of China. So he put it, right? And so we will see, with the exception of China, which is what this is all about. China, okay? Hey, forgive the dress, good people. I was just working out and I didn't have time to really change, okay? All right, so let's look at what else is going on. This is what I want you guys to see. On April 2nd, 2025, it was Liberation from Your Money Day, all right? So that's what happened to all of us, okay? Because of the tariff wars, okay? And so this is what started it all, right? So now if you look at the S&P 500, you will see, let's go back 6. So I can already tell you right here, without just looking at it. Here we go, April 2nd, right? Remember, April 2nd is when Liberate Us from Our Money Day started, and then that's where it is, boom. And then what happened? Dip down, and now we are what? Back to where we started, right? And so this is what was going on. Here's where the talks start. The threat started before that, right? We had this big sell-off even before that, right? So look at that. We were already down 7%. Then we went down another 10%, another 12% at the bottom. See, here's where most people were scared to buy, right? And now we're back. Now we're only down 8%, okay? But we want all our money back. And so that's what we want to see. Where is the money, right? I said it last week. We look for the bull in the bull, meaning we look for the bull market. I always say there is a bull market somewhere every trading day, right? I didn't phrase that. I didn't coin that phrase. Somebody else did, right? But I love to say it. There's a bull market somewhere, right? And so let's go to the moving average, 200-day moving average. You'll see this, it's like a puzzle. It all makes a sense, right? We dipped below the 200-day moving average, and then what? We came back. See here? We dip, touch, back down, touch. So are we forming? What are we forming? Is something going to form, right? A double top, a head and shoulders, whatever you want to call it. What's going to form after this? We will see. What's going to dictate that now is the Fed. Fed. So the Fed FOMC meeting starts mañana, Tuesday, okay? And that's when it starts. But the Fed decision and his speech is actually Wednesday, okay? And so that's when we're going to see the market. You guys know I've done like 15 of them here, aired like 12 of them here, all right? Every Fed meeting. Remember over the last 2 years how I used to air them before they hit me with a strike. So, but hey, I don't mind getting a strike for you guys because I showed you an established pattern right while he's talking. It sometimes it runs up the day before and then it gets scared. It depends on if he's going up or down on the interest rates, right? And then right while he's talking, it goes up. He'll say something positive and then it comes down, meaning the entire market, okay? Because the got you questions always push it down, and then it takes 45 hours after that for the market to decipher everything the Fed said, okay? Now, let's look at the Qs too, right? So let's look at what the Qs are saying. Same thing, good people. Look at that. We dipped down a little more, boom, and then what? Came right back to the 200-day moving average. It's just like a puzzle, good people. We started here on Liberation Day, and now we've come back, okay? But for those of you that's satisfied with this dip, not me. I want this. I want this. So I need another 8% back. I don't know about you. But let me show you guys something. So in Money Moves, I was telling everybody that it was tricky with Palantir. And I suggested that it was going to be really, really, really hard for Palantir to pull it off, right? It was priced to perfection, okay? One of the things I want you guys to look at on Palantir, let's pull up Palantir right quick. No, let's go here. We'll go there later. Look at the PE of Palantir. That's insane. And I showed the people in Money Moves why this was not good. 656 is the PE for Palantir. That's insanely expensive, should I say. Now, here's one of the reasons why, because if you could look at it, they keep getting the government contracts. I won't bore you with that, all right? I think they added another mill, which is small, and this is a small company, right? But this is what I like to see. You got revenue. The blue is revenue, and the yellow is income. So you got, this is this is like stairway to heaven if you look at revenue and net income. But what happened last quarter? Net income was dipping. And so what was expected from Palantir was just, look at this. For fiscal year 2025, the Denver, Colorado-based company now expects revenue in between $3.89 billion and $3.90 billion, up from its earlier forecast sales between $3.74 and $3.76 billion. Analysts on average expects $3.75 billion in annual sales. So they are bullish themselves. But you know what? The investor was not impressed with the numbers they posted. Look at this. The only thing that was higher than the result reports were expectations. That's a very fair statement here from Reuters. And that's why the stock is down, said a D.A. Davison analyst, all right? Palantir reported adjusted profits of 13 cents per share for the first quarter. That was in line with analysts' average estimate according to data, right? The company reported revenue. We went over that. But what was bad is when you knock the ball out of the park so far, which Palantir has done, it has defied gravity, all right? This was not a bad earnings report, good people. And look at what happened. It still went down. Palantir still went down. Look at this. Insane. Down 9% right now. 9%. Now the post market is closed and Palantir, could someone tell me why is Palantir down 9%? And this is what I prepared people in Money Moves for, right? So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to be transparent. I took this before a closing bell. You see Palantir? You see my Palantir right there, good people? 175%. The reason why I wanted to make this video is I explained to people in Money Moves that it was proper to take profits if you were up before earnings. It was proper. And as a trained investor, that's what I was supposed to do. But did I do it? Nope, I did not. And I told them I didn't. But I told them, I told my followers, it was a good deal for you. Why? I told them I was extremely long Palantir, extremely long. And I raised a red flag that this could happen. All right. If you in Money Moves, leave me a Money Move. Just leave in the chat Money Moves. Okay. And I laid it out But I was also transparent and says, I'm not because I'm long. And I believe that we will get back up. It'll be another pump when AI pumps up again. You're right. But if not, I got stop losses. Now, one of the things I could have did, but I did not, is I could have did a hedge against it because I had so much stock. A hedge would have been to do a put option on it. All right. And so that's what I'm teaching in Stock Up You Options for Dummies. Come join. All right. And so every time I get in front of you guys, I want you guys to learn something that's going to help you make money. And so what Larry could have did was do a put on it. And I started to, and I didn't. Right. Now that I regret. Not selling any of my Palantir, I do not regret, because we've been here before. You guys saw what, just a month ago, a couple of weeks ago, y'all saw what happened to Palantir. And then what? It came back. And I believe it will come back. And I believe that it's a long-term hold. Now, I just took some video of an exchange. I did it on my phone. I want you guys to listen. There was a bearish guy on it and a bullish guy on it. I want you guys to listen and we'll discuss shortly.
What breaks Palantir then in the amazing run that it's been having? Is it overall sentiment? And if it's an overall sentiment issue, how many other things have to break at the same time?
I think ultimately you hit a point which you've hit on the multiple. I mean, look at the numbers and the stock's down 5% in the after hours. If there's some break point where, investors, this has been fueled by retail. There's not a single institutional investor I talk to that even talks about this name.
And that's part of the problem.
It's a retail-driven story, and it's not being driven by institutions. Our investor base is institutions. And so the reason why I spend such little time is no one can make sense of the multiple. And so I spend my time on things that have multiple support. So again, I'm a huge fan of the fundamentals. I'm not going to argue, and I think Dan's had a great call. So kudos to him, and no one's going to take that away. It's just my view is I think there are just other stories that we have more confidence in with that valuation support.
Dan, I'm willing to respond to this.
No, I'd say Brett brings a really important point, because retail has been way ahead of institutional and Palantir. And Palantir, again, they continue to hate it, and they'll continue to hate it when I believe it's up another 40, 50, 60%. Part of the problem here is that institutional, they paint it with a certain brush, they have a certain negative view. And I agree with what Brent's saying. I think institutional has been way wrong on this. Retail has been right. But I do believe institutional eventually, just given, from a weighting perspective, you can't just continue to hate what I view is going to be $1 trillion market cap, to be fair.
So he believes it's going to be $1 trillion market cap. They're both right. You got to look at the PE. It doesn't matter how you feel about a stock. We got to get our emotions out of it. The PE is insane, but it's been insane. But do you believe in the future of Palantir, right? And so let's just talk about stop losses for a minute, because this is a perfect example of stop losses. A lot of people say, Larry, where should I set my stop loss? You have to figure out where you bought at before you can ask that question, because it's a general question. So if you bought it and you were only 11% up, then you should have set a stop loss. But since I'm 175%, I can take 8, 9, 10% hit, and it's not much to me. It's especially if I'm extreme long, meaning I'm going to be holding this for years, and I believe it's going to come back. Follow? And so it's not that I'm avoiding that question. I just can't. It's not just a general answer. Okay. So just remember, all of this money that I have in Palantir is the house's money, because I bought and sold it so many times since 2021. You guys remember all of the Palantir videos that I was making and all the other YouTubers were making. It was a hot stock, and we kept hitting it and winning, taking our money and rolling it back into the stock. Okay. So that's what I wanted to leave you guys with when it comes to earnings. I'm still long on Palantir, and I think Palantir is going to be fine. I halfway agree with the last gentleman, though he's an ultra bull, and the numbers have to bag it up, okay? But when this is all over and this tariff stuff is off the table, and AI is back on the bull run or the boom that it needs or it was on before, and it will happen. It will get back on track. Palantir will rise with it. That's just what I believe. As you can see, that's where my money is, right? Hey, come join me on Money Moves. Like I said, it's not just options. We talk about these stock, and I just tell people and show people what I'm doing. But also, as you can see, options for dummies, not too late. If you want to learn options and you don't know anything about options, you can do it for less than $1 a day. All right, that's it. It's just monthly, less than $1 a day. That is Money Moves, okay? And it's the top link below, and then under that will be Stock Up You. That is an entire class on stocks and crypto. All right. All right, good people. I will probably see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some travel this week, and I got to speak out of school tomorrow. And hey, we taking this show on the road, as they say. Love you guys. Let's see what tomorrow brings us. The pre-markets, I just looked at it. They're flat. And I'll take a flat day for tomorrow. We just don't want red. We don't like red, all right? All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure you check out the pinned link in the comments. Make sure you check out the links in the description. See you tomorrow. Make sure you hit that like button. Live, love, laugh, and learn.